Hello everybody, this is Matthew Armstrong on day 39 of our 100-day challenge to create financial freedom. And by now I probably don't need to say to you to click on the link and join our team. And by now I probably don't need to say to, if you haven't watched the first video, go click here and watch that first video. You've probably been watching all these videos, that would be a great thing. But in the possibility that this is your first video you're watching, then you want to do those things. You want to click on the link below and join our team, and you want to click on this link here and also go back to the first video and watch them all sequentially. I've just given you two things to do there. I don't know, make a decision, do one of them. Or just listen in if you've done both of them. So today I'd like to chat with you about a few distinctions about where you are in your life. Maybe you're an employee, maybe you're self-employed, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're an investor, maybe you're a bit of a few of those sort of things, and just give you an idea. Even though I've been all of those things, there's a time when I was employed and I wanted to be self-employed, and I wanted to work for myself, and so I did that. I took that leap, and I opened up a cleaning business. And it felt pretty good, Suddenly I was making double my, at least double or sometimes triple my hourly wage. When I had some staff on, then it was a bit more than that. And I could choose my own hours pretty much. Obviously, I got contracts to do, and I had to go and do those contracts at certain times. But I decided if I went in at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock, and if I wanted to finish a little bit early, I could finish a little bit early and just work later the next day. So it was that flexibility. I love to have that flexibility, and it was a great thing. But there was still a ceiling on my income, and there was only so much I could do. And the contracts that I had were kind of relative to the economy at the time, the building industry, and what was going on. So I knew it wasn't going to last forever. The business that I had. And even though I saw myself as being a business owner, I saw myself as being an entrepreneur, I really was just self-employed. That's what I really was. And an interesting thing happened, which kind of just switched something in my head, was I remember being in one of the contractor's office, and I was doing a big job for them, and I was in the contractor's office, and the lady behind the desk got on the phone to the boss because I was into get some checks and things like that. And she got on the phone to the boss. She says, yeah, I've got Matt the cleaner here in front of me, and he's looking for blah blah blah. And Matt the cleaner? And I just said this in my head, Matt the cleaner? Oh, people see me as being the cleaner? I never saw myself as that, and it was interesting because I had a cleaning business. People saw me as, oh, he's Matt the cleaner, and that's what she said about me. I was like, I'm not Matt the cleaner, I'm maybe Matt the business owner or the entrepreneur or something like that. But really I was Matt the cleaner, because that was my job. I was self-employed, and my job was a cleaning business. And although I had a few staff, now and again I took on more staff for temporary times, when we were really busy. But yeah, I got in, I got stuck in, I did the cleaning, and I suppose I was employed at that thing. And the difference between being employed and being self-employed is you just pay yourself. So instead of somebody else paying me, I was paying myself and then doing all the other responsible things as well. And so that was sort of like the difference there. But what I really wanted to do is I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to become a business owner and investor, because then there's more freedom in that, and it takes the ceiling more or less off your income. And there's a really interesting thing I want to show you right here. I'm going to show you on the whiteboard, and I got this from Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read that book many years ago. I actually read that book, and I highly recommend that book. If you haven't read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, highly recommend it. It was maybe the first book that kind of switched that thing on in my head about being an entrepreneur. I read it back in, when was it? Around the year 2000, I think, 2001. 2001 I first read that book. The first book I ever read on anything like that, on wealth, sort of psychology and sort of on behavior and stuff like that. Great book. And then Robert Kiyosaki, if you don't know him, you should know him. Google him, Robert Kiyosaki. He's guru in the wealth field, investments and things like that. He also wrote the Cash Flow Quadrant and other great books like that. And so he has this quadrant which explains things really, really well, and you'll kind of see where you're at, maybe where you want to be. So there's this quadrant, and you can either be employee That's E for employee. That's S for self-employed. Up here we have B for business owner or entrepreneur, and here you have I for investor, right? And so most people live here or here. You know, most people. I'm not sure exactly, but you know, it's over 90% of people, 95% of people at least are either employed or self-employed. That's 95% of the population, at least. And you know, if you're employed, you might be making, you know, let's talk in dollars. Maybe you're making, I don't know, $15 an hour if you're employed. So you're $15 an hour, and you're basically trading time for money. You know, that's what you're doing if you're working in a job. You're employed. You're trading your time for money. And then if you're self-employed, maybe you get a bit more money. You know, why would you go self-employed if you got less money, right? So you go self-employed, and then you get to pay yourself rather than, you know, someone else taking a cut then paying you. So maybe if self-employed, you're getting $30 an hour. And it works out as, you know, $30 an hour. So basically you've doubled your income by moving from employed to self-employed. But of course there's probably more headaches and things. You have to do work in the evenings, and you know, there's more responsibilities, there's more stress involved there, and you know, things like that. So you know, that's you get a higher increase in wage, but then there's some stresses. And also, you're still trading time for money. If you're self-employed, you're still got to put all the hours in, probably more. If you're employed, you're probably working 8 hours a day. If you're self-employed, you're probably working 12 hours a day, because you work the job and then you do all the paperwork and you do all, you know, the phoning people at night and getting stuff the next day and whatever else you've got to do. So really, you know, it's just like an extra headache often being self-employed. And a lot of people that go from employed, you know, to self-employed, you know, often go, well, that's actually not what I thought it would be, and they go back to being employed. That's a lot of people, and I bounced back and forth a few times, you know, just trying to, you know, get things settled in my own sort of business and understanding and things like that. Because I remember actually that, you know, the first time, you know, it's amazing how transformation happens. I remember the very first time that I did a contract and I was getting paid. I just couldn't believe it, that I had a business and I just did a contract for somebody, and I was going to get paid for that. And I was so nervous. I remember handing the contractor the invoice, and my hand was shaking when I handed in the invoice, because there's something in the back of my mind saying, he's not going to pay you. You know, he's going to just say, no, that job's not good enough, I'm not going to pay you. I had some you know, weird shit in the back of my mind. Like, why would I be thinking that sort of stuff? I don't know, but yeah, I remember my hand shaking, and then he gave me the check, and my hand took the check, and it was still shaking. I couldn't believe it, just seeing the amount on the check. I was like, oh my God, you know, I just made a load of money here in my own business. The first check I'd received for doing a contract, and it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling, but at the same time, it was scary. You know, I was really nervous about it. That first exchange of money. Yeah, so that's the limiting beliefs I had about money many years ago, where my hand was shaking taking the guy's check, you know? So, you know, just thinking about that there, wow, I've come a long way. I have no problem taking checks now, give me the checks, you know? No issues whatsoever anymore. So yeah, you know, so people kind of bounce back from here, self-employed, employed, but still it's kind of like a slave to, you know, exchanging time for money, right? Sure, there's a few perks here, but at the same time there's also perks here. So where we want to go, and where my aim was to go over to here and here. To go to becoming a business owner. When you're a business owner, you don't actually work so much in your business, and it's more a concept where you work on your business. Instead of working in your business where you're self-employed, you're inside it. When you're a business owner, you step outside and you work on your business, and you just get things spinning, and then keep them spinning and move on to the next thing, get that spinning. And you know, if you're a business owner, you can generally go away and take maybe even months off and come back, and your business is also spinning, because you have either managers in place. If you have a traditional business, you've got employees, managers, things like that, you know. If you have an online business, then, you know, even better, you know, you've maybe got your team of affiliates working it, and they're also working their own business, or maybe whatever. If you're network marketing, you've got your own downline, or if you're in direct sales, whatever it is, you've got something going that just keeps going. And then business owner, then you become an investor. So whatever you make as a business owner, just say suddenly you're not making, an hourly wage. Then suddenly maybe you're earning like a six-figure sum. Maybe you're earning like a $100 grand a year, maybe. As a business owner, and then you can start, investing money from that. Maybe you start investing 20% of that per year. You start investing 20 grand per year into becoming an investor, and then you're over here, and you're over this side of the quadrant. And I'm not sure if this is exactly the way Robert Kiyosaki explains it, because it has literally been about, 8 years since I read this from him, and I saw it in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. Literally been about 8 years. So, but this is basically it, right? You might have some other points in there. So this is a great place to be, and if you're watching these videos, you want to create financial freedom in your life, and to create financial freedom, you need to be over here. You can never be financially free when here, because you're still a slave here. You might be making more money here as self-employed, but you're still kind of a slave to the time, exchanging time for money. When you move over here, then you become financially free. You can set up businesses, you can franchise your businesses. You can, if you're online, then you can have like a team of affiliates, working your business. That's how phenomenal it is, Like with YouTube, I've got, like last year, I didn't put up one YouTube video for 3 months when we were having our baby and everything. I didn't even look at YouTube for 3 months, and still every single month I made money from it. And for me that was just like really, really cool. And the money didn't drop either, it just kind of stayed level for like 3 months until I started making YouTube videos again and commenting and things like that. So that is where over here. And with the internet these days, it's so much easier. It is so much easier, with Empower Network is what I'm promoting. It's even easier again. Really, it's so easy. It's so easy, So to be here and to create that amazing lifestyle. So if you get anything, get that. You probably want to be here. Why would you want to be here? Exchanging time for money, being a slave. Move over to here, become a business owner, start investing 20% into investments and of what you make in your business, and then grow your investments, and whatever you make, buy assets. That's a big thing. I remember from Rich Dad Poor Dad was, he says like poor people in the middle classes, they buy liabilities. They buy a car, they buy a house where they struggle to just make the mortgage payments. They buy boats, they buy just liabilities, things that actually cost them money instead of make them money. Or, the rich, they buy assets, they buy things that are going to make them more money. Whether it is, houses to rent out, apartments to rent out, or whether investing in gold and silver and things like that. And, that's something that I've got into now, is investing in silver. And, so that's where I put myself now. That's where I want to be, a business owner, and investing and building up the investments and building up the business at the same time. It's a phenomenal place to be. So, get that in your mindset. You want to become financially free. It's not about becoming rich, because there are people out there that make $1 million plus a year in their job or in their business, but they're married to the business. They can't step out of it at all. And there's people out there that have millions of dollars in the bank and they are scared to death of losing it. That's not financial freedom. That's financial slavery. Financial slavery doesn't matter how little or much you have your money, it's about your attitude to it. And if you're afraid, financial freedom, that's a whole concept in itself. That's having the free time, having the lifestyle, having the money, but it doesn't need to be a lot of money. For a lot of people, you can be financially free. Maybe for a lot of people, it's like $5,000 a month is financial freedom. Because with $5,000 a month, you might be able to pay your mortgage, pay your bills, and then have a nice lifestyle. You don't have to stay in 5-star resorts all the time. But on $5,000 a month, that's most people can say, okay, I can actually live a nice lifestyle on $5 grand a month. Most people can say that. Some people it's 10 grand, some people have more sort of, more expensive taste, and then maybe it's a bit more. But for most people, $5 grand a month, that's all you need. And if you have the free time, if you have the lifestyle, $5 grand a month, To me, that's more important than having $1 million a year where you're a CEO of a company, where you're completely married to it. You have your cell phone on 24/7 or anything like that. To me, that's not a life, So financial freedom is actually pretty easy. It's pretty easy, and it's really not that far off for you. If you're watching these videos and you're not there yet, then you're very, very close. You're very, very close. You could be just literally months away from it, and all it can take is just some daily commitment, some daily action every single day to make that happen. And if you have a vehicle like we have here with Empower Network, then you can make it happen very, very fast. And all it takes is the daily consistent actions. And wow, there's a lot I want to talk about right now. Maybe I'll save it for another video. It's taking the daily consistent actions, and also even when you don't see results immediately, because over here the employed, self-employed, they want to see immediate results. They're looking for immediate results. With me, I did a week's work and then I got a check at the end of the week. It was immediate results. Being employed, you just work your job and you just get paid at the end of the week no matter what, pretty much. Once you step over here, it takes more faith. It takes more an understanding. And because often you can spend a while building business. You can spend 3 months, 6 months, a year building business and not see one profit come from that business. So it takes more of a masterful approach. It takes more it takes more patience and more cosmic conscious understanding of how the universe works. And as they say, God's delays are not God's denials, or the universe's delays are not the universe's denials, or life's delays are not life's denials, whatever sort of word you want to put in place there for for that thing that kind of governs the universe. The delay is not the denial. The delay is just the delay. When you plant a seed, you don't go, "Where's my crop?" You don't say, "Where's my lettuce?" I planted a lettuce seed. Just we're planting lettuce today, that's in my head. You understand that you've got to water it. You've got to water it, you've got to care for it, and eventually that comes up. And it's the same when you become a business owner. People start business and they follow one strategy or one technique, or they do one thing and they're like, "Well, where's my results?" That's immaturity in business, that's impatience. You just got to be you just got to hold the line, as it just said, hold the line, and just keep going with it every single day, no matter what the results. That's what the master does. The master doesn't get swayed by results. The master just holds the line and takes the daily actions, knowing that everything that he wants will come to him, and it will. It will come to you, every single thing that you want. Keep that one in mind. That's a fantastic one. And make sure you want to be over here. And if you're watching these videos, that's what we're doing. We're being in this place. We're moving from here to here, so we have complete freedom in our life. So that's it for me in this one. Make sure, again, join the team, and that's it. See you next time.